There is a point in your birth chart that is not a planet. It is not a sign. It is not a star. Most apps bury it near the bottom of the list. Most people scroll past it their whole lives. And yet it speaks to the one question that brings almost everyone to astrology in the first place. Not, what am I like? Every planet answers that. This point answers, where is my life going? And it has now fully arrived somewhere it has not been in 18 years. So tonight, we're going to give it the attention it has been waiting for. Astrologers call it the North Node, and it never travels alone. Here is what is actually up there. The sun appears to travel one great circle around your sky each year. The moon travels her own circle each month, but her circle is tilted, just slightly, about 5 degrees, which means the moon's path and the sun's path cross at exactly 2 points. 2 doorways where the 2 great lights share the same road. Those 2 crossing points are the nodes. Nothing sits there, no body, no object. They are pure geometry, the places where the paths of the 2 lights intersect. And the ancients found that idea so alive, they gave it a body anyway. They drew a dragon, its head at one crossing, devouring, hungry, always reaching forward. Its tail at the other, trailing behind, releasing, letting go. The dragon's head is the north node, the dragon's tail is the south, and here is why the old astrologers took this dragon more seriously than almost anything else in the sky. Eclipses only happen at the nodes. When the new moon or full moon lands close to this axis, the lights go dark. The dragon swallows the sun, the dragon swallows the moon. The 2 eclipses we have just lived through, the total eclipse at the heart of the lion, and the eclipsed full moon still ahead of us, both of them fire on this exact axis. The nodes are not a footnote in your chart. They are the hinge the whole eclipse machinery turns on. So when this axis changes signs, the sky is not rearranging furniture. It is choosing where the next 2 years of eclipses will strike. It is choosing the theme. Now, one small wonder before we go inside, because this explains something you may have seen with your own eyes. The node does not glide. Watch it closely, night after night, and it stutters. It drifts backward, stalls, jumps forward, doubles back, because the moon's real orbit wobbles as the sun drags at it. So astrologers keep 2 ways of counting this point. One follows every stutter, the true node. One smooths the wobble into a single calm backward glide, the mean node. Most of the time they agree within a degree, but near the border of a sign they can briefly answer differently. That is why 2 apps can show the same birth chart with the node in 2 different signs. Neither app is broken. They are 2 honest answers to a wobbling question. And it is why this sign change happened twice. In the closing days of July, the true node, the stuttering one, stepped across the border into Aquarius. At that moment, the smooth mean node was still a full degree and 12 minutes of arc behind it, back in Pisces. For 3 weeks, the 2 reckonings gave 2 different answers. Anyone who checked the sky in that window was standing inside the disagreement. Then, just days ago, the mean node made its own crossing. And as it did, the true node stood only 10 minutes of arc inside the door. From more than a degree apart to 1/10 of a degree, the 2 answers converged on the threshold itself. As of today, every reckoning on Earth agrees. The doorway is fully open. The axis has moved. Here is the part most explanations get wrong. People speak of the North Node and the South Node as if they were 2 separate things. A good point and a bad point, a destiny and a debt. But look at the geometry again. They are not 2 points. They are 2 ends of one line. And in your birth chart, that line passes directly through you. You cannot have a north without a south. You cannot move toward one end of a line without drawing on the other. So the question the nodes ask is never, which end are you? It is, what is this line in you, a conversation between? Start at the tail, the south node. You will read almost everywhere that the south node is what you must leave behind. Old karma, old baggage, the past weighing you down, we would offer you a kinder and, we think, a truer word. The South Node is your inheritance. It marks the room you were born already knowing your way around, the talent that never needed teaching, the way of being that feels so natural you barely notice it is a skill at all. Whether you hear that as a past life's harvest or simply as the deepest grain of your nature, the meaning holds. It is not your enemy, it is your capital. There is only one way it turns against you: when the room you have mastered becomes the room you never leave, when the thing you are best at becomes the place you hide. Comfort is the South Node's gift and its trap, and only you can tell honestly which one it is being in your life right now. Now the head, the North Node. The North Node is not a reward waiting at the end of good behavior. It is not a destiny that happens to you. It is a direction. The one direction in your chart that feels strangely unfamiliar, sometimes even frightening, precisely because it is the one road you have not already walked. Notice what that means. The discomfort you feel when you move toward your North Node is not a sign you are doing it wrong. It is the feeling of unlived life being lived for the first time. And now the secret that joins the two ends. The one sentence we most want you to keep from tonight. The North Node is not a rejection of the South. It is where the South Node's gifts are meant to be spent. You do not abandon the room you mastered. You carry its fire out the door. The musician's discipline becomes the teacher's patience. The caretaker's devotion becomes the leader's steadiness. The performer's fire becomes light the whole room can warm itself by. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is left behind. The line through you is not a verdict on your past. It is an instruction for what your past is for. So, where is your line? You were born with the nodes in a particular pair of signs, in a particular pair of houses. That placement is yours for life, and it is where everything we have said tonight becomes personal. On our website, you will find a free calculator. Enter your birth details and it will show you your whole chart, including your North Node, the sign it is in, the house it occupies, and the South Node standing exactly opposite. The sign tells you the flavor of the inheritance and the flavor of the stretch. The house tells you the rooms of life where the conversation is happening. The link is below. It costs nothing and it turns the rest of this video, and honestly, most videos on our channel, into something about you. Go and find your line. We will be here when you come back. Now widen the lens, because the line does not only run through you, it runs through all of us, and it has just changed signs. For the last year and a half, the dragon's head has been in Pisces and its tail in Virgo. In these last weeks, that ended. The North Node has entered Aquarius. The South Node has entered Leo, and for roughly the next year and a half, through the spring of 2028, this is the axis every eclipse will strike. Hear it the way we said it tonight, not the way the flattened version goes. The South Node in Leo does not mean the age of shining is over. It does not say stop being seen. It says the shine is the inheritance, the radiance, the heart fire, the courage to stand in the center of your own life. That is the mastered room. That is the capital. And Aquarius, the North Node, is what the capital is for. The circle wider than the self, the future, the community that needs exactly the fire you have been keeping. The era is not asking anyone to go dark, it is asking what your light is in service of. And there is one more detail, the kind we love on our channel because almost no one mentions it. The node has not simply entered Aquarius, it has entered at the 29th degree, the final degree of a sign, the threshold itself. The old astrologers called it the anaretic degree, the degree of things coming to a head. And because the node moves backward through the zodiac, it will not hurry off that threshold. It stands in the doorway for weeks yet, wavering on the sill, and the eclipsed full moon that closes this season lands right beside it. A brand new era, beginning on the degree of endings. That is not a contradiction. That is exactly how thresholds feel from the inside. One hand still on the old door, 1 foot already through. If life feels like that for you right now, you are not behind. You are on time. One last circle to draw. The nodes take about 18.5 years to travel the whole zodiac, which means this axis has been here before, and some of you were born under it. If you arrived in the early 50s, the early 70s, around 89 and 90, or in the window of 2007 to 2009, this is your nodal return. The sky's line is standing exactly where your line is. A nodal return is not a crisis, it is a remembering. The question you were born carrying comes back around and asks itself again, with everything you have learned since. If that is you, tell us your year in the comments. You will find your generation already gathering there. Before we close, 2 quiet things for those who want to take this further. The star maps on our website are painted 1 chart at a time, and they carry this line. Your dragon's line, head and tail both, drawn across your own sky. And with the eclipsed full moon approaching, the written readings for your chosen moon are open now, composed 1 chart at a time, in good time for the moon you choose. Everything is linked below. Take only what calls you. And keep your eyes on the sky this week, because the story accelerates. In just a few days, the sun itself walks across the dragon's tail, brushing the heart star of the lion as it goes. And days after that, the second watcher of this eclipse season takes the stage, when the full moon is eclipsed beside the node's new doorway. We will be there for both. If tonight was the first time the nodes ever made sense to you, subscribe to our channel. The eclipse video landing within the week is built on everything you now understand, and you will want to be here when the second watcher rises. The lighthouse has never once told a ship where to sail. It only stands where the rocks are and burns. Your line was drawn before you took your first breath, but every step along it, in either direction, has always been yours. Walk it awake.